meeting for Friday, March 8th at 9:30 a.m. is ready to go. We have 3 new members here. Heidi Solis, Maria Drudge, and Scott Crawford. We want to thank them for volunteering and doing their part for the community. We appreciate that very much. I know Heidi sits on 3 boards, and so does Lynn. We definitely appreciate that. Then, of course, we have Mike Buckley and Cynthia Karavic and myself, John Williams. Roger is going to do our invitation for us. I appreciate that very much, Roger. And Mike Buckley is going to do the Texas flag, and Heidi Solis is going to do the American flag.
Of course. I want to thank God for us being here today. Thus our outcome of this meeting will be instrumental to what we want to do. Bless everybody in the city. Watch over us in Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the flag, Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Any other comments at all? No other comments? Okay, number 4, consideration and possible action on the application by George Robles on behalf of JCMB General Contractors LLC. Applicant is requesting variance regarding R1 single-family home setback requirements due to the flooding that takes place along the rear of the property. The property is located at 1907 Ross Street, legally described as Holt 3rd Edition, in Liberty Block 13, Lot 13. Danielle is our, well, she was our head.
Good morning, zoning board. So this morning we are going to go over the property that Mr. John Williams did describe. If you go into your packet, I believe it's the last few pages where you go into the R1 single family detached residential district requirements and are in our ordinance that requires 4 R1 homes. If you go to section 126-123 height, area, and parking regulations, item number 3 on there will give you the location on the lot whenever you do develop on a single family lot. So on here it does state that a structure shall be located not less than 25 feet from the front line, not less than 10 feet from the side lot line, and not less than 10 feet from the rear lot line. In a minute, we are going to pull up on the screen the floodplain as well as on LCAD so we can kind of be able to identify where this lot is according to where the floodplain is as well. On your other sheets, you have your plan of the lots as well as the identification of the lot that we're speaking of today, which is lot 13. So lot 13 is located very closely to the floodplain that's in the back where the bayou is. We're going to put that on the screen in just a second. Oh, you can't see it that great because of the color. Let's see if we can turn off the lights just so we can get good color for them so you can kind of identify where everything's at. Oh, let me help out even. Okay. Well, if we go to the screen, so there is a section, and you're able to pull this up. I should have provided this to y'all earlier so y'all can take a look at those links as well. So if you look at his lots are on 3rd and Ross Avenue. It's not developed as of yet. He is planning to put homes on there, a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Do you have a plan to hand on?
I think I printed one. Give me 1 second. My apologies.
And you have a red dot that we can
This should be the right location as I was doing research on it, but you're not going to be because it doesn't have the actual street names on there. But on the floodplain map, it does have to where it kind of curves Majority of it is on lot 13. And you can actually, if you pull this page up that's in your packet that has lot 13, on here identifies where that top of the bank is. So it'll kind of give you an idea of what it looks like and how that floodplain goes over into the lots. So his variance on this is wanting to push the home forward. That will take away from the front of the lot line from 25 down to 20. Because of the fact that you have that bayou in the back, you do have some flooding that happens in the back of that area. So that is what the variance is bringing in today, to go over that, to see if that is something that the board will take into consideration as he develops in this area. Mr. Robles has developed in the city of Cleveland before, so this isn't a new project for him. He is very well known with the city as far as development, and he's very familiar with what we require.
How far does that floodplain run across those other lots there?
From when I was looking at it, if I'm going to pull it up on this computer that I can see. Over to
And can you use your pointer and point up there to kind of draw that out for us to show us where those other lots, where it comes across those other lots?
Yeah, give me 1 second. The issue I'm going to have is that I can't even see it from here. So give me 1 moment. It's taking a minute to load. That's a problem. Okay.
Also, then on this other page, when you get down there, can you show us exactly which lot the 1907 is on this?
Yes. Is that third? Okay. Yeah, you won't be able to see this even if I put it on the screen just because of the color of it. So it does show, let me see, where, it's not going to show it on there because it's so light. No, because you won't be able to see it on the screen. And that's just a white screen, you won't be able to see these colors on that screen. So if you look at this paper here, you have your lots. So this is estimated where 1907 is. My apologies. Where 1907, but his lots are right in this area. So whenever the floodplain goes across those lots that I have on this paper here, the way it is it's this way. If that makes any sense. It curves.
All the lots.
Not necessarily covering all the lots. Your main lot that's pretty much that's affected on it is lot 13. You are going to have some crossing over into lots 12, 11, 10, and 9, but not as significant as you will on lot 13. Lot 13 is the main one that's going to be that significance to where it hits that floodplain.
Well, the question I have, and the reason why I'm bringing it up is I know you're looking for variance on this one. Is it going to be the same thing on the other lots?
So he does anticipate on doing it on the others. So that does set the precedence on if we do it for lot 13, what are we going to be looking at for the others? So I did ask Mr. Robles if he already has a building construction plan for the homes that he's going to have on there. He does not. The first step is, okay, if I get this variance, now I know what I can build on that lot. However, if we do approve this one, he is looking into doing the same on the others. So it really does depend on our decision today on what we're going to be looking at for those additional lots to see, because that is something that is in the future. His main concern right now is lot 13, but that is going to be a question and probably a variance that will be brought before the board in the future on the other remaining lots.
And one other question I do have, and I know that this equals out to 7,500 square feet, but according to the code we have right now, it's supposed to be 75 by 100 and 50 by 150. Is that something that was already set in place before the 75 became the rule or law?
From what I understand, it's because these were already existing before. Is that correct, Scott?
Yeah, this is an older.
Okay, that's why I want to get a clarification on that, because we've had issues before on
100%.
lot sizes, so.
And you do have,
this is okay, so.
the setback requirements do change between non-conforming and conforming lots because of that, to where you do have your lots that have been existing, they're not being replatted. What makes a big change on that, even if it's an existing lot, is if they go back and they're like, okay, well, we want this to be replatted, that's what kicks you into the new setback requirement. Yes, so you do have that change that does happen, that is explained to, developers as they come in, that once you change that plat, you no longer stay within those non-conforming lot setback requirements. It now kicks you into what the ordinance is now for those R1 single-family homes.
Yeah, I just wanted clarification, so when somebody comes in and says, well, how come?
Yes,
this
sir.
is allowed, it's not allowed in others, it's because it is existing.
Correct. And I do have Mr. Robles here, if y'all have any questions for him as a developer, anything like that, then he's more than happy to answer any questions for y'all if y'all have any for him.
We sure do.
Okay, Mr. Robles?
Mr. Robles, when you get up there, if you don't mind, will you give us your
And then
name?
just state your name.
I'm Gordon Robles with JCNB General Contractors.
And will you give us your address, please?
2802 West Geronimo Trail, Cleveland, Texas, 77328.
My first question is on this specific lot that we're looking at here. You're showing a structure that's 19 by 32. Is that what you plan on building on that lot?
So far, yes, because the value and the dimension that we're trying to get, I want to keep it the most possible to the street or away from the value. That's why.
And on your 5 foot that you're, let's make sure we're on the same page. What variances, because the paperwork is a little misleading. Are you asking for just the 5 foot setback, or are you, on your application, it also says sides for duplexes?
Yes.
So explain to us real quick, what are you really asking for?
Well, we're trying to do a duplexes in the property. And again, we want to push it from this side to this side the most possible, and the same thing from the back to the front. So that's why we're using that small, size of the building.
Is it zone for duplexes?
If you go from R1 to
Yeah,
duplex,
multi-
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Go
So
ahead.
that's why instead of doing it wider, we want to actually go up. So it's going to be like a 2-story duplexes.
And you're not gonna live on any of these properties?
No, no.
And is there a reason you couldn't adjust the position? Let's deal with specifically block 13, obviously, because that's what you're asking for. Is there a reason you couldn't adjust the position of that structure?
Yes, actually that one is going to be just a single duplex. Just one unit versus 2. Because again, I want to keep it the most possible from the creek. So that one, let's say it's a 50 feet, right? So we want to get 5 feet on this side and push the one unit to this side. Keep it away from the creek the most.
So why do you need the 5 foot? Why do you need the 5 foot all the way around?
Because if we do 10 feet, we're still pushing it to the creek, to the bayou. So I want to use it on one side, and the other ones I want the same thing. I want to push everything to the left side, which is the area that is not too close to the creek in the back and to the side. And if we do 10 feet on both sides, we're taking 20 out of the 50, so I only have 30 feet.
Okay, but I guess, let me make sure we're clear here. The only one we're currently dealing with is 1907.
Yes, correct.
So on specifically 1907, you technically don't need the 5 foot side.
I do, because if we do the 10 feet, it's too close to the creek. Oh, let me explain this. Okay, I can see why you're confused.
Yeah.
Okay, I only have probably like 40 feet, or no, about 30 feet to before you get to the creek, because the other part of the lot is actually passing the creek. So according to the paperwork, the plan is showing like the creek is in the middle of the lot.
Correct.
Yeah.
And your structure is 32 foot deep. So you have, I'm going to just give an approximate of
Yeah, so that one,
another 20, 25 feet probably before you get to the top of the bank of the creek. You want to come look at what I'm talking about?
yeah, let me see.
I'm looking at it, I'm just this is the lot, and
Okay.
this is the lot. So if you do this up here, okay, between your 32-foot deep to here, and the start of this, you need to go to the top, this is 150 feet, obviously 75 feet is going to be split in four. You follow me?
Yeah.
You still have 32 feet before you get up here, you see how that mark is.
John,
Board, John? So one item, if you look at this lot here, that gives you the information where that floodplain is. There is also a drainage easement, which is a ditch that's right here that will cause a hardship from him being able, for him to be able for that 5 feet. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's not the floodplain that's causing hardship, it's the easement,
Yeah, it's not the floodplain that's causing the,
it's the dig
problem,
easement
it's
that's
the
on
ditch
you.
easement that's causing the problem. Okay,
that's what this is right.
that makes more sense.
Yeah, I just saw that. And because this is, even though it's existing and it is 7,500 square feet, because it's existing, it's not a 75-foot front, you could consider this a non-conforming, which does allow a 5-foot side setback as well, on a non-conforming lot.
And so what are you gonna end up asking for in the future on the other lots?
For the same, for the other ones, that like the way it's right there on the small little sketch that you guys have.
Does that drainage easement, does that run through all those other lots also?
The only one that's on here is that,
Is
is
that
this one
one?
lot. And kind of
Roland,
goes,
would you know?
you'll see it kind of goes up, and then goes back down, and then it's. it
I'm gonna have
disappears.
Roger take a look at that for me to see if he could confirm that. What do you want me to go to? Go ahead.
I mean, as of right now, the way it looks,
Okay.
that structure's gonna be sitting right there.
Okay.
Yes.
There's okay. Oh, okay. Over here.
Well, I'm gonna raise it up. Actually, I'm gonna do, I'm waiting for the approval, but it's gonna be probably like 4 or 5 feet higher from the ground.
So it's
not
right
gonna be
here,
on the
Ross
ground.
is third.
It's
Where we at? Is it these?
No, it's
Where
gonna
the
be
heck
on,
we at?
wood beams. Yes, yes, correct.
So you're not raising the property.
No,
These.
no, I'm not raising the property. That's why I'm willing to do 4 or 5 feet,
No,
whatever
it's
the
these right here. It's
requirement.
these right here.
We're willing to do that. Just to avoid in the futures, you know, but this,
13?
I mean, there's every time when it's
now
raining,
leave
it's
it like
actually
that.
no water coming there.
to-
You know, it's just like it when
No, the other one?
they open
Go
the,
to,
Conroe Lake or something when they get water. So I want to prevent that way. So
to
that's
show
what we're gonna do.
the, yeah, hit that.
This one?
Yeah, hit that right there. Okay, okay. Yeah, we lost some 30. That's what killing me.
Is it gonna be pier and beam?
It can be per beans or wood beans, whatever
You're
they
not,
are.
you're not putting,
No.
sports truck, not gonna drill
So-
here in the
Where the
ground.
heck are we?
You took
No.
let me go back,
Yeah, it's just pier and
go
beam.
back right here. Yeah.
So it's gonna be on the ground.
So yes, yes, correct.
So how are you gonna raise it for? With the wood?
With wood,
Just gonna
yes.
raise the
Yes,
foundation?
correct. Yes.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay. They don't show it. Okay.
Actually, they building some houses around there the same way. And they're only doing like 3 feet, so I want to get 4 feet or 5 feet, whatever.
Okay, that's
we
fine.
need.
That's the one I just did.
Okay, then it's in the dark. You see that little one too?
Mm-hmm.
The property in the front, they just moved a double mobile home. And what they did, they raised up the path for the mobile home. They raised it like 3 feet up here.
Hit that one. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, okay, there it goes. So
Yeah.
it's these.
yeah.
Okay, so I have the map of that drainage. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it over and I'll be able to let you know. So it actually does run through all those properties. Give me 1 second. So his property, the first one we're looking at is this one right here, which is lot 13. Okay. Let me use this because it's going to be easier to take a look at everything. Okay, so this is lot 13 and these are all his other lots. This here is your drainage. So it is going to hit all his other properties that he's looking to develop on.
Which ones does it start with?
So it starts with this one right here, which is lot 13, and then it goes down.
But as of right now, the only one.
Right now, the only one we're focused on that he's sent the variance on is lot 13.
Is there anything on 534?
No, this is all green area. These are all trees.
Move to the right.
On this side?
One more, no, the other way. To your right.
53,
98,
534,
98,
Come down,
come down.
go to the right.
Go to the right.
No, you don't, down.
Now to the right.
Down to the right.
These.
Yeah.
No, right there. Up where you're at, right there. Is there anything on those houses, right, on those? houses?
Pull it up, Roger.
yes, there are houses,
There's houses?
yes, there are houses.
Yeah, there's houses over there.
Beside my last lot, there's a house as well too,
Where's your,
and the rest is houses.
And what we would have to take into consideration is we don't know when those houses were built there, how long that they've been there. So those can be existing homes that have been there for years. So that's kind of, we can't really, that's hard to base it on, especially if that's already a developed area where those lots are, because we're not sure how long those homes have been there.
change you,
And I want to still say like 1 feet.
So that one time?
Does this affect the driveway?
where's you gonna buy?
No.
Okay, over here. Hit this one. Hit the regular.
The rest of the houses there, they're probably like maybe a foot and a half or 2 feet higher from the street.
Zoom into the area.
What Cynthia is asking, Mr. Robles, is this pretty much your plan, on what you plan on building, the sizes?
And yes, yes.
And the dotted lines is a 5 foot on the side that you're going.
But these over here, these are green, the house right here.
so that goes all the way
Right
back.
over here in the corner.
The Ross and Second Street, you got that property, and then it's all woods,
Yeah.
all the way over to, Ross and Fourth Street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So see this right here?
Where is
This-
we at?
This is 4th Street.
Yes. Where's his lot at?
His lot, this is his lot.
Yes. Yes, so it's in between 4th and 3rd. That's how far his goes.
Okay, that's him, yeah, that's him, and then this one is him too, that's him.
You want to bring that imagery over?
Okay, yeah.
So we have two parcels. The first on this side and third are, covered, and then
Yeah, right.
the one is straight down, like,
In the top, so, yeah.
it's kind of exact.
Yeah, we can't see nothing on the light.
Like, you almost need different color screen.
Yeah.
A darker screen or something.
This is your, this is further up on the property, and this property is much higher, it's in the middle, it's pretty dark.
Can you zoom in on that some? And this lot 13 is,
Well, I got to see where I'm at.
No, I can't even see the numbers. Where's third at? Where's Wallace?
Go back up in that area, right,
No, it's this one.
right there. Yeah, right,
No,
next block,
next block.
that one,
No,
right, down, right there.
this is third, right?
Yeah, but you up there by,
So it's this one, yes,
and then you further up all the way up to,
yeah.
so you
So
got one.
this is gonna be his lot right here, hold on.
The one you're talking about is up the
This
corner,
one,
right?
no, it's this one, it's this first one.
Can you zoom in on that? We're
That's
trying to
as
see
clo-
where
that's as
that
close-
bayou-
You're not gonna, it's all trees right now, so
Okay,
that's,
you can't
that's
see
as
the
close as,
bottom.
yeah, no, that's as close as you're gonna be able to get, because it's from the aerial, so all you're gonna be able to see is the top of the trees.
If you change the format and put it as where that river goes, that value goes through, you see,
Change it to,
you see that river actually running through, which is like over here. Yeah, see?
okay.
So his property,
Trees.
yeah, his property is, yeah, that, yeah. Right.
Actually,
So it's coming through.
it's coming through from the top from,
3.7.
Yeah. so it's gonna come from, if I'm looking at this correctly, and I can give you the, okay. So how it's gonna come, and so keep in mind, this is the top of his property, one of the properties that he's gonna go, so it comes through down, this is the bayou, and then it barely hits this front of the property, and then it continues on down. So it does go, once it comes up here, it goes to the back end, and then all the rest is pretty much mid through, and then curves out this way.
Right.
Yeah, it barely hits this corner property right here, and then it goes down this way. Does that make sense?
It does, to me it does. I mean, it's anybody
Yeah,
else, we all-
yeah, well,
Yeah, be on.
A blue line, 65, divides what is travel, so his property,
Leave on this.
right, so. But it does, be down behind the front, but it's travel.
Okay.
I know. This,
So this is video that he has of the property, so his lot is gonna be further back here. But if you can see in the video, the behind of there is where you will see the bayou at. So his lot 13 is further down here, and then as you move in, you'll be able to see more of that bayou as it goes further out. And then all behind here is the water.
Do you have an idea, Mr. Robles, of what kind of structures you're gonna put on this property? Are they gonna be all wood
That's gonna be all wood, yes.
with like T-111 or some kind of siding?
Yes, correct.
Hardy
Hard plate.
Probably hardy plank.
Now, just a reminder, I mean, it's zoned R1, so to do a duplex like you wanted to do, you're going to have to go to planning and zoning and request that to be zoned R2.
Yeah, that was my point earlier with the zoning.
Right now, it's single family only.
Right now, it's only single family. It's not zoned even for a duplex.
So you can do a single family houses over there.
Yes, yeah, you can do single family houses, but it's not zoned for duplexes. That's what I mentioned a little bit ago. Right now, currently, it's zoned for R1 single family. So it'd have to be rezoned to 2 for duplexes and multi-family.
No, that lot is not, that lot is zoned as multi-use.
Scott, Danielle said it's zoned as multi-use.
That's multi-use. Mhm.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I think it's our one.
No, sir,
13
multi-use.
or is all the lots on for that?
Yeah, let me show you. It's this big area, it's a huge chunk of the area, if you pull
Just
up,
where,
if you're,
what Mike just asked Danielle, just to be clear.
so his is on Ross and Third, which is right here, but this whole area is multi-use.
So all of his lots.
Oh, yeah, that whole area within Cleveland. No, but the setback requirements are the same on those.
What'd you ask, Patty?
Right here on the agenda, it says requesting variance regarding R1 single-family home setback requirements.
Only discussion.
Okay, okay. So we have clear.
So is that just a typo?
Yes, sir, my apologies.
Okay.
Now you put,
So
now
it's
you put,
actually-
you grab it, put it over there?
R2 multi.
Okay, okay. So, yeah.
So you see what that is?
Oh, there you go, you got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, so just point it, actually show where.
Where his lots are, where is, that's Third, right?
Right, so it'd be.
So,
Where the whole, yeah,
these
correct, correct.
Because this is Third, and that's Ross.
Right.
We found the map.
So that whole area right there, what you got marked up, that's all multi-use.
Yeah, this is showing this is the floodplain, right, Roger? Is this what it is?
Yes, yeah, that's-
Yeah, this is floodplain, but yes, this whole area is multi-use.
So in that same area then is, it's all flood zone area, the structures there that are sitting, that have been built already, has there been any issues with anything that we know of?
Correct.
As far as flooding or?
Not that I know of. Roger, I don't
Well,
know.
the only time it floods when it's like a heavy rain come through, or, you know, Harvey came through, or the last flood we had, it floods, because all that.
Hey, Roger, if you don't mind, will you come up to the microphone? Sorry.
Well, okay, so that area flooded because everything on that side comes from the north side of 59 and travels through, underneath 59, which they're doing construction as we speak, and travels through that neighborhood. But yes, every time a heavy rain comes through, it impacts that area. So, we will have to accommodate that in case that do happen.
So realistically, without the variance, that's not going to get developed. And obviously, we want it to develop.
Yeah, you want development, so, I mean, to me, if they're willing to, they know the conditions of that area, so if they're willing to proceed further. And it's beneficial, I mean, like I said, more taxes, you know, stuff like that, so.
Yes, sir, Mayor?
It floods in that area, like Roger said, but, say for example, if you have like something major, like the RV, get like 10, 12 inches of rain, you know, sometimes it does back up, but it doesn't do that much. It has to be a major flood, because I have a rent house down on East 3rd Street. And that house probably 30 years, water probably got in it twice. 30 years.
And would this variance help that for him not get water in the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if she's gonna build it up, if you said put it up a little bit, yeah.
Daniel?
Yes, sir.
So,
Well, yeah, I've got one question. When does just real quick, I know he's raising it up, but I just want to see what that 5 foot is gonna, what difference that 5 foot gonna make in the overall scheme of things. What impact is that gonna have on the property if we get the variances and move it up 5 feet and shift it over 5 feet, what impact does that have for the buildings and the property itself?
In that one lot or the surrounding lots?
I know we're talking about one lot now, but it's actually gonna affect every lot over there, because like you said already, he's gonna come and ask that was structural. But that's, you know, right now we're talking about that one lot.
Yes.
What is the impact of that 5 foot over and 5 foot back? What impact is that gonna make on?
What's that gonna, how's that gonna help him if he's gonna build the house up anyways? How's that gonna help him?
I mean, I guess I'm looking at it from both aspects. As a developer, you're coming into the city of Cleveland, you have that area that has been established. Now you're bringing in something new in that area. So, you know, you're amping up the surrounding areas. And then also, if I'm looking at it from a developer standpoint, in addition to that, you not doing so when you're going out to sell this plot, this land, how are you going to sell it with no yardage? You're not going to have any yard for families to be able to come in and want to do. You're going to have limitations on, okay, yeah, you can have this great yard size and everything. However, you can't go that far back because anything you put further back there is going to flood. So at least you're gaining some kind of yard for families to be able to come into this area, if that makes any sense. Is that?
Well, 5 foot.
I mean, it's not a lot, it's something.
That's not much yard.
It's not a pool area, but.
It's actually to keep it from the valley, to keep it far away. Because if it was me, I can do a bigger house and get all the way to the creek. I don't want to do that. I want to keep it the most possible far away because in case it flood or something, we prevent that. We still going to go 4 or 5 feet. I can go 8 feet if I want to. If you guys want me to do it, it's not a problem. The problem is I want to keep it from the creek.
Well,
That's why I'm pushing it to the front, and I'm pushing it to the side.
But that's what I'm saying, if you're going up, moving it forward and move to the side, it's really not gonna affect the.
Well, in this case, it's affecting the building, yes.
How?
Because I don't have too much room in the back. If you look at the picture,
This is so far, this is what I have to build.
Yeah, so I mean, how many feet is that correct? So
Maybe about 50 feet, 60 feet?
And your structure's 32 feet?
Yes, correct. That's why I'm asking for finding
You're
around here on the side.
you're going to this front corner right here, correct?
Well, yeah, well, if we look at the one we're suggesting right now, and that one is, that's what it's only one.
Okay, this is where you're gonna be sitting down on that line, correct?
Yes, correct. So if you look at it, you know, it's pretty much right here. You know, it's go right here. Actually, it's showing this area is actually coming here. That's why I put it this way and I'm here. But it's the same right here. If I don't have the whole piece of land, I'll make that one, one of you know? But that's what, yeah, that's why I'm doing this. That's what we're doing. Exactly, all these footages.
because the other houses that we're building is actually over 1,700 square feet each house. In this case, I can do it.
How many square feet are they?
If I'm not mistaken, I think about 1,300 each size of the duplex.
1,300 per unit?
Correct.
Per unit,
Yes.
so you have 2 units?
Yes.
One on top, one on bottom?
Correct. Yeah. And I don't want to do it bigger because then I'm going to go higher, and I don't want to have this huge building sitting in some, you know, wood beams or whatever. It's still going to be strong, but that's why we have to accommodate. This is the only thing something can work in their area. And when we bought it, they didn't tell us it was enough funds. They didn't tell us all that. So, yeah, they didn't tell us all that. So pretty much we got stuck. So now we're trying to figure out what we can do. You know.
So what are you gonna do without the variance, if you don't get the variance? What are you gonna do?
Well, if we don't get it, I guess we build one single house or a small duplex or, you know, the minimum I get that you requesting is 1,000 square feet. You know, I don't want to do a small bungalow there, you know. And the idea is to make it like a little, we're gonna call it, I don't know, subdivision or something, or make it look nice. We're gonna do fence in the front, we're gonna gate it, we're gonna put landscaping. because the houses on the sides of this property, they're turned down, and they're not good houses. And we getting 3 more lots, that the plan is the same thing. If this work, we would like to continue doing duplexes and maximize the land. The other lots are sort of 50 by 147, I believe. So in that one, we don't have no problem if you don't give it the 5 feet on the side, because we can go to the back, because we have 147, piece of land to go to the back. In this case, we don't have that.
Are you gonna have a driveway in front of this house or on the side? How are you gonna, what are you gonna do for a driveway?
Yes.
Yes, what?
We're gonna have a driveway,
Where?
in front of the house, in the middle of both houses. We're gonna have,
Come show us on this driveway.
We gotta remember they're gonna sit back 25 feet.
And that's what you're looking to address. Okay, I just wanna make sure.
I'm sure you got ditch.
Yes. It's just the way it's written. It's the same kind of-
Yeah, that's just what we've seen in Canada.
But what we could do is just set precedent.
I just would,
So,
another thing to
Scott-
talk about and discuss, or for your consideration, it is mixed use, but I'm looking at the ordinance right now. Under mixed use, of course, duplexes are allowed, but you have to have a 7,500 square foot minimum, plus an additional 2,500 square foot per dwelling unit for the next dwelling unit, and an additional 1,100 for every 1, 3 or more. So, to do a duplex on the next lot over, you're gonna have to have 10,000 square foot. That next lot's gonna be 7,500 square foot again, which means to put a duplex, you have to replot that whole, the rest of those lots.
All that probably gotta be replotted.
Or you do single family in this whole area, which you can do that, but I mean, if you're talking about doing duplex, and I know that's not today,
Right,
but I
but
know
it's
you're looking at the
something.
whole overall scheme, and so the one you're looking at today is a single family house, because you can't do a duplex there. The next one over, if you move towards it, it's a 7,500 square foot lot. To do a duplex, you have to have an additional 2,500.
This one wouldn't set precedence on the others anyway.
Right, because that's gonna be a whole nother, which means you're gonna have to,
And once that goes into
replat it,
the
then you have to go
replat,
back
you're no
to
longer
what's code.
non-conforming on that. That's where that, remember I
you're
was
gonna have to
mentioning
go
that
back to what
transition
our standard is.
jump over, that's gonna be a whole nother jump over because you're having to get it replatted.
So in reality, if you wanna do this, you're gonna pretty much do single family, homes on all the rest of these lots. If not, he's gonna go and replant, he's gonna lose probably 1 lot, so you're only gonna be able to do about 3 structures over there. To
Yeah.
make it work properly.
Future-wise, yeah.
Yes, so, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying on that.
yes.
Yeah, so.
And it's just something to consider, because I know you're looking at the overall picture.
Mm-hmm.
We're only focused on this one today, but it may affect your big picture item, and so you need to be looking at the whole concept.
So in other words, if you're,
We move
if
this
I'm
up.
looking at it, if you're gonna if we give you the variance on this one lot, it's done. If you replat all 5 lots, I mean, it's just an option, you do have that option, trying to replat them. But
You're
if I
gonna
take
replat
a
the rest of them
raise,
anyway, you can replat all 5 of them.
you're right.
You,
The other 4, if he wants to do duplexes, will have to be replatted. You could
Right.
replat all 5 of
No,
them.
that's my point with him, is that, does he still want to stay and try to get the
Correct.
variance on this, or do away, don't do the variance and replat all 5 lots? Financially, I would think, I
To see
mean,
what you can get for
Yeah.
duplex wise.
otherwise you're gonna take off 7,500 feet right now when we do it. If we do this, if we give it to you, we're gonna take 7,500 feet off.
You're gonna lose 1 lot, you gotta have to spread out
Right,
everything else.
so again, going back to what we were talking about, this is mixed use. So if you take all 5 lots, your first dwelling is 7,500, your second dwelling is 2,500, the 3 dwelling and more is 1,100 square foot. So by including this first lot in that whole 5 lot will give you more room to play with. If you lock up this 7,500 square foot on this first lot, then the next 4 you only have to play with on the square footage. So it's something to consider because you might be able to do more units by including this first lot in the whole package instead of just doing 1 and then doing the 4. Does that make sense? Because your first unit's 7,500, and then you got 2,500 and then 1,100 for the second one. And so, that making sense? By having 5 full lots, that first unit on that first lot gives you more capability to put more units overall.
See, what I see here is if you develop this first one over here where you got the single family on it, if you go and do, like you're saying, replot this where you can get more use out of it, you start from the other side, the side that gives you the most trouble, where the value takes up most of the lot, you'll be able to use that lot as your, to scoot everything else from lot 9 back. You be able to scoot it that way to pick up the square footage that you need to be able to develop more as a builder. You know, the more you get out of the property, the better you are. If we do this on this one lot right now, you're gonna lose probably one whole lot over here in the middle to do these duplexes over here.
With that,
For example,
Replat all 5
for
of them,
example, right now,
you probably
this
get
is
your
a
4
lot.
duplexes.
So this is the lot we're looking at right here. Right now, you're trying to get a little bit here to make it fit. If you said, I'm gonna do this whole thing as one lot, one mixed-use lot, and you're gonna put duplexes on it, you make this one, now you get this whole area to work with. You don't have to worry about trying to put something in this little corner. You can put all the other houses over here and stay away from this if you need to. Because you have the capability. Now, I know you still got those, that you want to do this, you got those facilities, you can rearrange them. You have a lot more flexibility by having one lot to deal with, to try to put the units in, and trying to get a little piece right here. It opens up that, if you're gonna have to replat this anyway, because you don't have enough square footage to do the duplexes, it's better to go ahead and have this be part of this whole concept.
I mean, you're gonna have 37,500 square feet to work with by including that lot. But if you don't, you're gonna be down to 30,000.
And they're really saying too, is what you can do is if you had to build a road to go in the middle, you can put a duplex in the front side, a duplex in the back side, and the way it's set up, depending on where I guess your creek runs and everything, but your property size expands. So instead of having to try to do everything in the very front of that lot, you got the whole use of the whole property all the way through.
So replanning is not the same measurements that we have to have? I mean, the dimensions for the building?
Well, what'll happen is, like he's trying to say, once you go to duplexes, there's certain requirements you gotta have in order to put a duplex in. You gotta have a 7,500 square foot lot, but then if you go to add another one, you gotta have the 1,100 square foot space added to that. So you just lost 1,100 square foot. Now, you go to another duplex, the same thing. You gotta have a 7,500 square foot lot, you lose that 1,100 square feet. So what's gonna happen, you're gonna end up losing a whole lot in the middle there or altogether because you gotta try to fit two or three duplexes. That's all you're gonna get out of it. You won't get your 4.
Well, I think another example is you're trying to put a single-family house on this one piece of property, you can't put a duplex. If you combine them all, you can go multifamily, and so maybe you put a 4-plex, a 3-plex, and a duplex to get your requirements. And all, you have to play with the numbers.
I'm assuming you're gonna use this for rental income, correct?
Yeah, some of the investors, they're gonna buy it and, you know.
So you're gonna build it for future rental
Yes.
income and then sell it to an investment.
Yes, there are investors already waiting for the project to buy it and wait.
And that just to be another option too, because you can go multifamily and do maybe a 4-plex and a duplex or a triplex. You'll have that opportunity because you have a bigger footprint to work with. Unless you just want to do duplex, but even then, you're still having to do a single family on this one piece of
How
property.
long will it take you to replan it?
Danielle,
So
is
you
your
would put in
lady?
your application for that, so I'll walk you through the whole thing. You would put in your application, submit all the required documents. We would review it, sign it, and we would have it printed, from the surveyor on a Mylar plat, bring it back in. We would go ahead and sign it, make sure everything's good to go with it, and then we would file it with Liberty County. So we just see what the turnaround period
It
is.
does have to go to zoning for planning, though, or
No,
No.
it's sorry, it's mixed use.
no? Oh.
Yeah, no, the only time it goes there is if they're changing, yeah, replats don't go to the board, so you would just do that.
And if you, yeah, I mean, you don't even have to come back here if you do mixed use.
Yeah, they don't-
Falls to the criteria.
So I just don't know what the turnaround is.
So the difference is gonna be this, it's real, what it boils down to is, if we do this variance, you're gonna lose 7,500 feet. That's what
You're gonna lose a whole lot.
You're gonna lose one whole
Or
lot.
just go with the multi-family home.
Yeah,
So
and,
it's another option.
yeah, replat it, and then you got all 37,500 square feet.
If you do the variance here on this one, then the only thing you'll be able to do, if you wanna keep all 5 lots, is you have to put a single family home on each 5, on each lot. You won't be able to do anything else with it. If you go and replot it all, then you'll be able to do what you need to do. You won't have to come back either here or the other spot to get it set up. You just have to give it to the city, they'll tell you what you're able to build on that spot, that property, and then you'll get more building
Yes.
out of by replotting it, and more money, return money for you by replotting than you will be if you go in and just do the variance with one lot and do single family.
You're gonna
Now, it's
get,
gonna take some time, I don't know how long it takes to do all that with the county and all that, but in the long run, the payoff, investment wise, is better. But it's your call, it's your money, your property. you know?
Okay, well, I guess we can wait and we can look at the option. I can talk to my brother and then we come back and decide what we're gonna do. It's best for everybody.
And I would recommend look at it and see, because if you decide you don't wanna do that, the other plot it all together, you can always come back and we can reset this meeting, and then go from that point, but.
and if that's the case, then we waive his fees if he does come back to the same.
Yeah, we don't, I mean, if we stop at this point and say, no, let's pull it for right now, let him go back and do some work, then he can come back with the same application, if he wants to come back at a later time for
So
that.
if you do decide you want to come back at a later date, we'll waive the fees to come back for the same variance, if you want to pull the variance right now. Just to give you the.
Okay, yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. We can look at it. We go from there.
That way it helps you out, maybe you're better off.
Yeah, because the idea to do that was to maximize the land.
Yeah, now you look at next one. So that's something we gotta look at financially to see if it's worth it. I would double check and see, plot it all together, get all 5 lots, and then you would see what they'll allow you to build on that. And then you'll be able to see what is better for you in the long run.
I think financially, in the long run, you redo all 5 lots, you're going to, I think that's what you're going to.
And as far as timeline, while you're going through the process of replatting and getting all that approved, you can still be working with your architects and engineers for the design of what you want to go forward. So that can work simultaneously, so it doesn't necessarily cost you time, you know, because you can do them together.
But doing it that way, we don't have to do the 5 feet or the 20 feet.
No, you're not going to have,
We have that.
more likely, you're not going to need a variance for anything. By replatting all that is
So
not.
what can be the minimum from one building to another building?
On the multi-use, I would have to pull up the ordinance for that.
Because, like I said, no, we have to probably,
You said probably, create like here and be like this.
Yeah, exactly, that's exactly what.
That'd be high density, right?
So the driveway for that area,
Depending on what you're
it's
doing.
already
It's a
driveway,
four
one-way
flex.
driveway?
It'll probably be up to
2 lanes.
probably 16 foot.
More than likely, she can tell you all that.
So, yeah, it would depend if you're doing a 4-plex.
45 feet from front, 10 feet from side. and
So it's
back.
still the same thing, the 25 feet to 10, those location
No,
lots
but what
are.
his question was is how close can the 2 structures
just
be?
not-
Yeah, that's what we would have to go through the ordinance, and it would depend if you're doing a 4-plex, if you're doing a duplex, it can vary from that. So I would have to look in the ordinance to see exactly what that would be.
I don't know that that's specified in this, but I think it's gonna be your fire code, which I think is gonna require 10 foot, correct?
Yeah,
A minimum,
yeah.
10,
Yeah.
without having to do firewalls and all that kind of stuff.
That's right.
So it won't be,
because if it's.
Because then you're gonna be needing the fire
Firewall.
code,
right,
you I think if you do 10 foot, then you're okay, but if it's less than 10 foot, you have to have firewall on each end of the building between separation.
Which costs more on product, So 10
But you'll have a lot more room to play with to move buildings around. So you should have an issue with getting 10 feet between the two.
Because that's not been hard to do the whole firewall.
Well, no, this is so you do a 10-foot space, you can still build your structure closer. You still get a 10-foot variance, but then if you do like a street in between, then you can double what you got here. Instead of having 4, you can have 8. You know, as long as it's set with the body.
And fourplexes instead of twoplex.
You know, you can multiple, you build more.
So 4 units in one.
Yeah, you have, yeah, absolutely.
One structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, your money's gonna substantially increase, because you're gonna, because at least looking at it the way I look at it, kind of like the way Mike's looking at it, instead of doing 2 duplexes on each, do 2 fourplexes on each. And.
You know about the project behind the railroad? Franklin? That's the one that.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure.
Okay, well, we can look at that option and we go from there.
So you want to cancel this for now?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. That'll work. Got a motion to adjourn. I have a motion by Mike Buckley to adjourn. I have a second by Cynthia Kerrivick. All in favor? We are adjourned.